Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my new Were Bomber for Druid. If you like huge AOE explosions, if you like pushing endgame content, and honestly it is just a blast to play, this is going to be the build for you. As always, I will cover every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now the skills we're using for this Were Bomber are Blood Howl, Debilitating Roar, Poison Creeper, Cyclone Armor, Claw, and Earthen Bulwark. Earthen Bulwark is where we're gonna get this huge explosion over and over again that you can proc all the time. Now, we're not gonna show any world tier 4 content just out in the world. When it comes to Hell Tides, you're gonna be able to get 4 mystery chests. When it comes to Legions, you can do them by yourself. World bosses, any world tier 4 content, it's gonna crush. So what we're gonna show today is some mid 40s when it comes to Nightmare Dungeons, then we'll jump into the 50s, and then we're gonna do a boss run. Nightmare Dungeon tier 45. So you will see that Blood Howl's gonna give us life and increased attack speed. Creeper's gonna get everything all nice and poisoned, and then we are literally just gonna use Bulwark Shield that'll explode out, killing everything. Ooh, another Paragon point. We are also very, very tanky with this build because you are spec'd into barrier. Everything just dies. Get out of here. Bears. Kill a couple more enemies. You trigger the explosion with your right click. All right, let's fight the boss. Come here, you. Level 99 boss. It's crazy when you see the explosions. Earlier you saw the 3 and the 4 millions. Just freaking hits like a truck. Dead. Moving on up. Nightmare Dungeon tier 53. So we went up 8 from 45 to 53. Now in playing this, I mean, I honestly can't really tell the difference between those 8 levels. Enemies now are 107s, and we got the rock chasing us. But again, when you have a build that can hit for millions of damage, you know, you're gonna be able to push pretty far with it. Get out of here. It flies everywhere. Get it, creeper. Blow up. Elite Spider. Blow up. It's a really fun build. It's like you know when things are about to go down. All right, you get it. Let's fight the boss. The Rock wants to stop me from fighting the boss. Seething Hive Master. And as you can see from both videos, again, very tanky, no deaths, 45 and 53. You literally just walk through it, hitting for millions. And you are dead. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's check out the skills for our Were Bomber. We are using the Crone Staff. Love that item, which means we're using double generator. Just put 1 point into each. And you want to take Fierce Storm for vulnerability and Wild Claw for 15% chance to attack twice. This recently got buffed from 10% to 15. We do not have a core skill for this build, but you do want to put 3 points into Predatory Instinct for base crit. And you are looking at this correctly. We are taking all defensive skills. Yes, you are a very tanky Wolf Bomber in this build. So you want Debilitating Roar, Blood Howl, and Cyclone Armor. And on all 3, you want to take Preserving. Now, Earthen Bulwark. This is the main skill. This is what everything is built around. This right here. Earthen Bulwark is destroyed or expires, deals 4,700 to surrounding enemies. This damage is increased by barrier bonuses. That is why on helmet, on chest, and on both rings, we have barrier generation. Okay, you want to get as much barrier as possible because it's going to lead to some big explosions. We also have 3 points into vigilance, and obviously since you have 3 defensive skills, this is going to be up 100% of the time. We also have Creeper, great quintessential skill, fits almost into any build, and this is going to help us with our boost our crit chance. And we're taking Pack Leader, so this is going to be reset all the time. Right here, we are putting 3 points into Crushing Earth and Stone Guard. This is going to give you some Fortify and some boosted damage. And then the trio right here, 1 into Neurotoxin, 1 into Toxic Claws, and 1 into Envenom. This is going to make it where enemies are poisoned, enemies are slowed, and they're going to hit but more crit damage because of it. Now, last but not least, we do not have an ultimate skill. I did some testing with Petrify compared to Debilitating Roar, and I like Debilitating Roar better because of the 70% damage reduction or damage dealt from enemies. It's just you're tankier. Now, I would say if you plan on using Butcher's Cleaver, the unique weapon, you do want Petrify because when enemies are feared and they run away, you could basically freeze them or petrify them and go kill them. But the way this build is set up, I do not recommend this skill. I do not think it works as well. Now you want 1 into Defiance, 1 into Natural Disaster, and 3 into Resonance. And then down here, 3 into Quick Shift, 3 into Natural Fortitude, and 3 into Heightened Senses. Now, when shape-shifting skill transform you in different form, you deal 30% increased damage. You're in Werewolf, and you're attacking with your Crone Staff. When Earthen Bulwark, you go to trigger it, you turn into a human, which is now a shape-shifting skill, and you're going to get a boost in damage. Last but not least, Nature's Fury. I'm going to explain Nature's Fury, why this is so important during the aspects portion on the gear section. Moving over to the Spirit Boons, and you have a little bit of options here. Now on the top, you want to take Wariness, which is for damage reduction. Second line, I have Swooping Attacks and Wrath. This is going to give us critical strike damage and attack speed. Some people like having maximum health. Some people like having base crit chance. Your choice. I like it this way. Like I said earlier, we're taking Pack Leader because we're going to be continuously resetting our Creeper. And then last but not least, Masso, which is just going to give you a lot of life leech while you are playing. Those are the Spirit Boons. Moving over to the Paragon boards. Now, I just want to start by saying that these boards are ever changing. I think I've made 3 tweaks to this board just today. The written guide on Icy Veins, all of my Barbarian, all of my Druid builds, second link in the description if you want to check them out. Those will be updated season to season. So let's say you're watching this video and it's been a couple weeks, a couple months, there's a chance there might be an update to it, and you will find that in the written guide over on Icy Veins, okay? But since you saw the gameplay and the boss kills, I want to show you what I'm currently using. And at time of recording, I am level 91. For the base board, what we are using first is Exploit. Get that good vulnerability damage and make sure all enemies you hit are always vulnerable. Second board, and I'll try not to click on anything so you have a chance to screenshot it if you want. Second board, we are using Heightened Malice. And the glyph that we have here is Territorial. 66% damage to close enemies, 10% damage reduction. Absolute monster. Then we go right. And for our third board, we are taking Thunderstruck. And the glyph that we are using is Shapeshifter. Okay. Moving to the left now for our fourth board. And I have Protector in. And there's lots of nodes I want on this board. I'm literally all over the place. The ones I'm grabbing next are these ones up here, the crit damage and the physical. Okay. And then we come down right here to our fifth board, which is Earth and Devastation. And the glyph we are using is Werewolf. Got it? Those are the Paragon boards. Moving over to everyone's favorite gear, starting with gems. Now for our weapon, we want to use emeralds, which is going to give you critical strike damage to vulnerable enemies. For your jewelry, you want to use skulls for base armor. And for all of your armors, you want to use diamonds, because this is going to be barrier generation. Again, you're going to do more damage the more barrier that you generate. Now, when it comes to items, okay, we are using the Crone Staff. Technically not required. You can run this without the Crone Staff, but it would shift up your skills a little bit. I feel like Crone is the best way to run it, but technically it is not required. Now I'm going to go through each item one at a time. Helmet. Chest. Gloves. Pantalones. Boots. This is how we're able to use Debilitating Roar. Ring. Ring. And amulet. Now here is where I want to pause. I mentioned during the skills portion that there is a reason why you need to take a certain skill. Now check this out. When the Nature's Fury key passive triggers a free skill, your non-ultimate cooldowns of the opposite type are reduced by 12 seconds. This is a perfect roll, and it's boosted from 8 seconds to 12 seconds because we have it on our amulet. That means that when you go and look at your skills right here, your Nature's Fury, every single time basically this triggers, you're going to be able to come up here and you're going to be able to reuse your Earthen Bulwark. This is why your cooldown keeps getting pulled down over and over again. So as long as it triggers, you can use Earthen Bulwark and then you can continuously triggering it back and forth. That is the gear. Last but not least, let's talk stats on our Were Bomber. Time of recording level 91, 621 into willpower. Critical strike chance 25%. This will get boosted anytime you hit an enemy after your creeper. Crit chance or crit damage with crit lightning damage close to 200%. Our stats look really good. And I probably should have mentioned it during the last segment that if you want to see our affix tiers for what we recommend for each item, again, go over to the written guide on Icy Veins. Now there's one stat on here that is important that you want to boost as high as possible, which I continue to talk about, and that is your barrier bonus. Right now I am at 85.7%, which is fantastic. And you can get it even higher than that. So not going to go through all the stats, but just want to show you a basic rundown of what I am working with so you can compare that to the earlier gameplay. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new Were Bombers? Is there something I missed? Is there something I can do to push this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. Hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it, but of course, only if you think I deserve it. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 84 members that have signed up. Become an instant ARPG VIP and get Patreon exclusive content at the first link in the description. I get asked all the time, Aaron, what is the best way to support you? Patreon is it. You get the most bonuses. You get to see my studio tour and music breakdowns. You get access to the bonus hour. Lots of goodies over at Patreon, including access to the VIP lounge. So check it out. It is the best way. And don't forget, we have multiple written guides for Druid on Icy Veins. We are now working on our leveling guides, and we have barbarian guides coming. So lots of good stuff over on Icy Veins. That's all I've got. Hopefully you're entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.